IceFoxx here. So I'm gonna start off Guide to the Gustos Part 5 here with how to side deck, what cards you can side deck, and what's our main enemies and how to counter side. So just to kind of start this off, we'll go into the kind of cards that you can side against other decks. The general meta right now is Dino Rabbit, Chaos Dragons, Mermails, and Agents. So I'll kind of go into how to side against them and the big cards to maybe side. So to start it off, we've got Grand Mole. Grand Mole's an awesome tech in any deck, side deck or main deck. It's just too broken. Got T-King. It's pretty well an auto side these days. You can side it in against almost anything, so it's kind of a side deck at 2. For Gustos, if you have a especially hard time against Chaos Dragons with your build, you can side Victoria. It helps you get rid of their dragon targets in the graveyard, so you can just special summon the Red Eyes for nothing. So it really wrecks them at times, but they don't like it, so they get rid of it pretty fast. We got Spirit Reaper. This is mainly used against Dino Rabbit. Just kind of helps you stall against them so that you don't end up getting killed too fast, and you can start getting around them. We've also got Kaiku. Right now in this format, Kaiku's not entirely useful. It's more or less just kind of a deck that just kind of sits there. We haven't had a deck that actually works against this. I'm anticipating that as soon as Fire Kings come out, this card will help out a lot, just because you can, if you destroy their Garunix on your turn, you can just attack and deal damage and then remove it from play so that it never comes back. Good card for the future. If you have a really hard time against heroes, you've got your Kinetic Soldier. Gustos will always have a terrible matchup against heroes just because they're too consistent and they're just too well built. You can't get around them. There's not very many side deck cards that will help you against them. It's mainly Ryo, Kinetic Soldier, and Puppet Plant. The hand traps, Gustos don't have a problem running any of the hand traps, really. You got your Maxi Veiler. If you're not maining either of these, you should be siding at least one. I prefer Maxi sided mained at 2 and then side 1, or 2 and 2. It really depends on your build, but they're the two best hand traps right now. DD Crow, obvious reasons. Remove a card from the graveyard, so it's pretty good. Inzectors get wrecked by it a lot of the time, and once again, the Garunix, this'll just rape it. Puppet Plant, obvious reasons. If you have a hard time against Dark World, I've never really had a problem against them, but if you do, you can side Gemini Imps. And against Mermails, Gustos have pretty well 0 cards that we can side against Mermails. So it comes down to a couple of tech cards, really. Gemini Imps is one of them, just to kind of stop the Moglacia and adding from Spike so that they don't get a +2 out of it. So these 3 cards are mainly used against Dino Rabbit, Snowman Eater, DD Warrior Lady, and Raikou. Once again, mainly used against Dino Rabbit. DD Warrior Lady is probably one of the best 1-for-1 removals. Snowman Eater is another one because it deals with pesky T-Kings and still stays on the field. And Raikou is just all over awesome for Gustos, just because you do not have to worry about milling it. Milling your Gustos is good because you set up your cams if you have them in hand, so you get free +1s. Easy. And to finish it off, Cyber Dragon. Pretty obvious reasons. It's also a decent card to side against heroes, just because it gets you that extra monster. For the spells, there's not a whole lot of spells that we can side, just because we main a lot of them. We got Soul Taker, System Down, and Prohibition. System Down's pretty obvious. Soul Taker is really anything that's 1-for-1 removal. I would side this mainly against heroes just to help you with the matchup. It makes Shining miss timing, and just causes a lot of things to just blow up, basically. Prohibition, this is a personal tech or side deck card that I use, just because if you know the deck you're running, you're up against, you can call a key card at the right time, and it just wrecks your opponent. But of course, if you call the wrong card, it doesn't work, or if you call it at the wrong time, it kind of doesn't help them at all. So before I get into the traps, I'll show you the 4 cards that we absolutely hate. Banisher, Radiance, Dimensional Fissure, Soul Drain, and Macros Cosmos. Gustos rely on their graveyard, so any of these 4 just completely wreck us. So what we end up doing for counter sides is you can either main 3 MSTs and side some extra ones, or main 2, side 1. But you can also side Dust Tornado, 7 Tools of the Bandit, a Trap Stun, Royal Decree. I would mainly side one of these 3. Trap Stun's nice, but it's better. It seems better for us against the Mermail matchup, just because they have that stupid little ruling with Abyss Sphere. It basically, they activate Abyss Sphere, you flip Trap Stun, and Abyss Sphere ends up staying on the field forever. They don't get the monster, and they can't activate spell cards for as long as it's there, so they have to waste an MST on it, which they can't even do. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad, and definitely helps you up against the matchup. Just because they won't be able to activate a lot of different things. Another one is Transmigration Prophecy. For some odd reason, they have a ruling with this that if you use Prophecy in a certain way, it causes the Atlanteans to miss timing. Like, they don't get to activate just because you're sending them back to the deck really quick. I don't get why, but it's a ruling. We're not going to argue with the judges. With Gustos, since you like to have your monsters destroyed by battle, a lot of people don't expect stuff like Mirror Force or Dimensional Prism to stop certain ones. So, Prism's a nice one, especially against Medolches. It disrupts them and prevents Pudding Sis from activating entirely. Mind Crush, obvious reasons. A lot of decks these days add cards to hand a lot, so you just end up mind crushing that card if you don't like it. So it's just basically 1-for-1 removal. Gustos are able to side this, but it doesn't really help them too much in this format. Skill Drain. We can side it. It's not the greatest because we like our cam +1s and Guldos effects, but at the same time, we don't rely on it. If you're running a build that just kind of runs the engine and then runs other things to go around with it, then Skill Drain's pretty good just because, well, you don't have to worry about your engine being screwed up because this is from the field. So Standard Disruption, Bottomless Trap Hole, Dino Rabbits obviously, So just added monster removal. This is about the only card we can side against mermails that doesn't screw us over as well. Debunk. It prevents any of the Atlanteans from activating in the grave and removes them. So it's pretty decent, but it really sucks because it only works on one. Of course, windups and Gear Gias, needle sealing. Really situational. I don't personally like siding this card at all. Kind of sucks in my opinion, but it's there. Obviously, Shadow Imprison and Mirror, Dark Worlds, and just Dark decks in general, obvious side. And if you're running a pure build, you can side this, especially against Dino Rabbit, Gozen Match. Great side against them. Really wrecks them at times and causes them to really play defensively. So, especially with Gustos, a lot of people won't expect this. So, for Chaos Dragons and whatnot, well, Mermails, as you can see, really. Mermails, I would only really side if I had these in my side deck. I would only really side these monsters, or these cards. Sorry, these cards are really the only cards that actually help us against Mermails. So it really sucks, I know, just because Mermails get completely wrecked by what we do. Same 4 cards, they get completely wrecked as we do. So we can't side them against them. That's, aside from heroes, that's probably our worst matchup, just because all the constantly removing, they swarm too much, and it really prevents us from going off. But yeah. Anyway, if you guys like what I'm doing and you want to see some things in the guide, just let me know. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to get on it and make a video for it. If there's anything you guys want to see towards the guide, or certain cards that we could tech that I haven't shown, once again, comment down below. It's a lot of fun doing the guide, so I plan to continue it as much as I can. Anyway, this is IceFoxx, and I'm out.